Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video over on the channel by the name of LeaIsChill. Today we have returned to record a couple of new games. So this is a game I've never actually recorded for the channel by the name of Punishing Gray Raven. Basically, this is a game that released a couple of years ago and it's kind of been increasing in content. I've popped on it pretty much once every 6 months to check out the story. The story very much feels like a kind of Nier Automata spin where they're focused on a lot of like corruption, stuff like that, the idea of like machines having souls, the idea of like what is the bridging gap between the two. And I'm actually a really big fan of the story in this game in particular. But today I'm here to actually record a brand new collab story they released a couple of days ago, in which they introduced Black Rock Shooter into the game. Remember that thing back in 2013, that really popular anime everyone loved, that was basically like a short OVA series which was pure action with the girl that looks like Miku? Well, they released a collab here, and it feels like we're taken back 11 full years to back in the day when this was super hype. But today I actually wanted to go ahead and play through the whole collab story, because I think that there's a lot of value in this here, and I think there's a lot of intrigue to be shown throughout the entire story they adapt. I played through all of it, checked out the story and how the cutscenes were, and I think there's actually a lot to see. So hopefully you guys will join me today when we go ahead and go into this, and it'll show off the gameplay and what it's like as well. I do think I'm going to be turning off my like camera whenever there's cutscenes, because there actually is going to be some cool stuff inside this I want for thumbnails. But let's just go ahead and hop right in, and of course have some fun with the game today. Now, I'm not going to read the whole story. Basically, it will be following very similar things to what the actual Black Rock Shooter story was. You can see here, I believe this is the Queen. A lot of the things inside Black Rock Shooter were based on different chess pieces. Sometimes a naive child, sometimes a frail old person. Her existence is torn into countless pieces. That's my queen. Lucia, you're cheating. In the bedroom before you, the chess pieces stand. Oh! Luna, you're running out of time. Lucia? Luna, you can't stay! And the queen glitches into her. Luna, you can't stay here forever. Who are you? Lucia, where'd she go? I am you, Luna. You have your own duty to fulfill. Luna, come with me. No. You can't keep running away. Don't be afraid. No! Lucia, where are you? There's a bad person! Don't go there! This is bad. Mysterious red corridor. Bit by bit, crushed by an immense crimson flood. And so this is an extra chapter. The glint of the light goes through her gray eye, ascending the viaduct. And so this is just in the middle of a post-apocalyptic city. This girl right here is starting to fight against a bunch of the monsters from Punishing Gray Raven. But a mysterious girl shows up with a scar. Her expression remains hidden beneath the shadow of her hood. The only discernible thing is the spectral blue flame emanating from her left eye. Which, by the way, this girl right here's whole thing is the glowing left eye as well. So I think that's also why this collab happened. In a blinding flash, her Kodachi enveloped electric light intercepts all cannon shells, cleaving it in twain. Flood. There's just like light novel action scenes. Give me a break already. Didn't want to waste too much time in a place like this. Nonetheless, she has no choice. Who are you, a construct from Babylonia? Babylonia? Or an ascendant coming from out of nowhere? Construct, descendant. Person murmurs the term is alpha mentioned, as if encountering these concepts for the very first time. Not gonna answer? Fine. Johto da! Since you would dare to attack me, you must be prepared to pay the price. Alright. Yeah, that's the Sansai! It's so funny that it actually is like the black underneath too, so it really does feel like Sans. This is a cool piece of art as well. Alright. I believe... Yeah, I remember when this first starts. It actually has one of my coolest, or one of my favorite, coolest moments inside the whole collab. All right, let's do this. Unfamiliar face, who are you? Ah. No answer? Want to have direct communication, then I'm all here for it. And so, when you start fighting, the first thing you do is a slow walk, Devil May Cry style, facing off against the other girl. And it won't start the fight until you hit a button. And this feels so cool. This is just such a cinematic little moment. And then right when we're ready to go, we hit go! Unfortunately, she's blocking everything I'm doing, but we'll just deal with it. Wow. I've also always said that I'm a major fan of games like this, adapting stories in a way where they use the 3D models that they make in smart ways to tell their stories. And I think that not only was that cutscene before this really cool, they also obviously use part of the fight as a way to tell the story. Whenever you dodge, you get a 3 ping version of your abilities, and so that's the best way to battle against her. She's gonna attack. Now, I still didn't get the dodge. Oh. Feels like it's made to bully you. Wah! There we go. Moetsukiro! I actually haven't seen Black Rock Shooter since the one time I watched it back in 2013. But I remember it was a pretty formative moment for me. I watched it back in high school, obviously, because that was the time where I was back there, and I really liked the story it was telling. But I couldn't even explain it to you these days if I wanted to. She also has the big gunshot, so let's go ahead and pop that now. Hiya! I also always find it funny whenever, like, games like this turn facts of the original series into little bits. That's why I also like, there's a show called Isekai Quartet. It combines, like, 4 different isekai series and uses all the characters' personalities in big bits and jokes, and I love it. In this one, there's a joke where, in chess, what beats every piece? A gun. That's my favorite. The blades crossed, clashing and interlocking with lightning. Then it lasts for only a moment. Alpha shifts her posture, sliding forward in an attempt to throw the girl back off balance. Quickly adjust herself, rotating her arm and yada yada yada. Last time she had to go all out in a fight was when she was in Fort Winter. You're tough. Girl in black brilliantly blurts this out during their standoff. Well, thank you. More soft-spoken now, except she's grown more alarmed. Can't figure out who this girl is. She doesn't even know if she came to Babylonia or what. All those conflicts you've been through have made you who you are today. I can just tell. You sure like yapping, huh? She is a yapper. I think she actually like barely talks in the original though. Fortunately, you're just an outsider like them. I can't let you walk away a winner. Them? Oa's body, however, acts on its own before she snaps back. She spins around and slashes her sword through this thing that approaches her from behind, splitting it in half. A hetero creature? Damn. Why in the world are these hetero creatures? There are ordinary corrupted among them too. Someone controlling them. Turns around to see the girl in black also fighting hetero creatures rushing at her. The girl pierces the hetero creature with a great black sword. The shockwave of the cannon fire lifts the hood of the girl, revealing uneven black twin tails. It really does look so much like Miku, but I think that's supposed to be the inspiration. Like, the Black Rock Shooter is about like a high school girl kind of fighting through her trauma and talking with a friend of hers, right? I think it's supposed to be like she projects herself onto Miku, but the 2 scars that she has, both on her stomach and on her like rib cage, seem to be from surgeries. I don't quite remember the story still. Lend me a hand? She signals Alpha with her eye, seeming to ask her for help clearly. Gotta be kidding me. Frustrated by her capricious attitude, she still fights. Black Rock Shooter. What did you say? Took Alpha a moment to realize the girl was answering the questions she asked in the very beginning. Even so, Alpha doesn't let her guard down. Her hand rests on her kodachi at her waist, her gaze sharp. The girl ignores the hostility and approaches Alpha as if she can't take a hint. I thought you're one of them because you smell just like them. Points to the hetero creatures on the ground, clarifying the reason for attacking Alpha. Because of the punishing virus, you've got to be joking. Yeah, you're stinky because you have the bad disease. It seems like you have no idea what the punishing virus or ascendants are. The punishing virus. Wasn't that something that this world had to begin with? So that makes perfect sense that I don't know what it is. This world? What exactly are you talking about? Don't you remember how you got here? Faced with this girl's retort, Alpha is somewhat baffled. On the surface, scouring like she always had, searching for a way to sever Luna's deep connection with the Ascension network. Out of nowhere, she was attacked by this girl. She still doesn't know what happened. Yeah! So do you remember that castle? What castle? Alpha turns her head toward where the girl is pointing. With it, Alpha finds herself a little dumbfounded. She had borne witness to countless inconceivable creations and wonders, but none of those had prepared her for what unfolds before her. The castle standing in the distance, towering in the clouds. I wonder if, can I get rid of the CG? I want to get rid of this top part and the bottom part, but I don't think I can. Castle standing in the distance, towering in the clouds. Surrounded by ruins, the black and white castle looks incredibly majestic. While thinking her visual terminal might be malfunctioning, Alpha closes her eyes and shakes her head, but it still remains when she reopens her eyes. Does this exist in your world? The answer is, of course, no. But judging by the girl's attitude, the Alpha started to contemplate another idea, one she had found hard to accept at the moment. This is not the world she knew, not the Earth being ravaged by the punishing virus. Alpha stares at the mysterious girl, as if confirming Alpha's thoughts. The flame in her left eye burns on quietly. Good on them for relating on being Sans together. And that's how it introduces itself. What an interesting start to a story, right? This one, I don't think has an actual fight. The corridor is what this is called. We're just gonna skip through this one. It's just going to be explaining that this is Blackrock Shooter's world, and the corridor consists of mental images. Strong mental images can affect the state or properties of matter, meaning that Alpha might be the one actually bringing the hetero creatures to this area. The city has taken its current form because you are here. Your perception has changed the scenery here. Mental images. You can think of it as the mind taking on physical shape. The corridor where intangible wills do that. By the way, they did not explain any of this in the original Blackrock Shooter. This is literally like adding to the lore of the original. The physical shape of wills. Basically, essentially a physical manifestation of the mind. What is the mind? Cognitive model of a construct. Not entirely clear on specifics. Alright, we're just gonna keep on matching through from here. Yeah, it's saying that corpses get turned into different manifestations inside here. I'm not good at explaining, but someone else can help you. Motorcycle needs fixing, doesn't it? Jeez. And two of them don't say a word as they keep on going. The ruins. The range a single mental image can influence is limited. The castle also appeared because of someone's mental image. Yes. An outsider like me. Very likely. What about you? Are you what they call a native? She falls quiet without answering. What's wrong? You're quite the chatterbox. You called her a yapper! First time someone said that to me. Strangely, Alpha doesn't feel annoyed. The more they talk, the more she feels that she feels something she can't quite put into words about this girl. I felt this way about anyone. Someone coming across the Vonnegut or his ascendants, nor when she came across the constructs of Babylonia. It's like a solitary beast coming across one of her own kind. That's so cute! The lone badass lady, unable to find anyone who relates to her, finally finds someone else who's on their own mission. Here we are. What's this place? One of the crafts. So I had to pull for Alpha after this, by the way. After reading the story, I immediately went and pulled for Alpha and made her my favorite character. Been a while, Blackrock Shooter. Is that a face I'm seeing? Pleasant surprise. Does Deadmaster know about this? Don't want you hanging out with people she doesn't know, do you? Craftsman knows everything but the corridor. Yeah, the Craftsman starts to explain a little bit more what's happening here. You know where I came from too? We've seen many outsiders. It's like a mirror connecting many worlds. The occasional Alice falls down the rabbit hole. Wait, the occasional Alice falling down the rabbit hole is quite normal. That's a cute little way to put it. That's how the girl in black got here. So, her chasing with you, it's a case of a shared misery, isn't it? From another place. Ugh, this is getting absurd. You try to treat this like a dream? Praying that you'll wake up at some point? I'm feeling deja vu being around you. The way you speak, your aura is completely different from the person that I know. What are you talking about? Trying to play dumb now, huh? I am a kind craftsman, that's how everyone sees me. Let's quickly get through the Q&A session. True that I don't have any time to waste with you. Answer me this. Does the castle have anything to do with the fact that I'm here? The castle appeared about half a month ago, brought with it the concepts that didn't exist in the corridor before. A punishing virus. Finally hit you, huh? The Ascension Network. This place is made of wills. The Ascension Network that filters these wills should also have physical form. Punishing virus follows an Ascension Network like a shadow. And the hetero creatures are based on the same idea. Matching with how this world works, that's a good sign. What's that to do with me? The punishing virus inside her is docile. And she never will actually have it take her over. But for some reason, she's still pulled into this, even though the punishing virus is the thing that's infecting this world. What I need to do doesn't change. This is where it all began. Everything will become crystal clear when I get there. Fix it. I'll be back later. No, just fix my motorcycle. I don't see anything to gain from you. Damn. In the corridor's craftsman, one of the duties here is to see when everything went awry. I just want everything rectified. Stick to my job if I were you. Lowers her hand on a kodachi and turns to leave. Wait, Blackrock Shooter didn't come in, huh? We're planning on staying long. What's next on your agenda? I need to go and learn some more stuff. Care to join? No need. Not necessary. Shakes her head and turns down the offer. They fear seeing me. I'm not surprised at all. Blackrock Shooter doesn't plan on gathering information with Alpha. She'll passes her Warren map. I thought it was a worm map. Warren map with the territory nearby, or terrain nearby, and locations where people might be found. Alright, time to speak with a local. This has to do with Luna, and aside from me. They're clearly tying the Luna into this, though. Oh, wait, I forgot that they actually put Lucia in here. Dead. Sorry, can you repeat that name for me? Dead Master, I think, is what they're... Yeah, it's the Dead Master. Too difficult for you to remember, huh? The disdainful smile. This girl by the name of Dead Master looks at Lucia and LeaIsChill. Wait, that's so weird. That's me. Wait, there's beeping outside. Ugh, I hate when, like, random traffic outside is making random beeping sounds. It's solved now, though. We feel baffled by the surroundings. Sounds more like a nickname than an actual name. That's so, well, it doesn't matter. It's okay to be a Dead Master. Hey, Lucia, and that one over there said something about coming to Babylonia. I'm LeaIsChill. You can comprehend your situation now. No, it's all still a little too confusing. Start from the beginning. First, this is what they call the corridor. You don't explain it for a third time. It just takes time to swallow it, that's all. Is that so? Well, I hope it doesn't take too long, because time is of the essence. You're looking to stop that behemoth, that is. Points to the castle standing in the distance. It's just you two make your way there, sooner rather than later. If you're too late, that thing called the Ascension Network will devour this world whole. What are you telling us? Why? Because you just arrived here and know nothing, right? Getting you up to speed helps move the story along. You didn't hesitate to attack us at the start, though. Sorry about that. When you've been in this world as long as I have, you tend to greet worthy foes with a fight first. A unique form of greeting here? This is more of a rule around here, I'd say. In any case, if you want to prevent disaster, head to that castle. Where the conflict truly begins. I'll be waiting for you there. Wait! Not gonna wait! Bye-bye! So they're also pulling us into the story as well. Alright, made it clear. We just gotta go. I actually haven't gotten far enough in the story to see this version of Lucia, by the way. But I guess that she turns into, like, a softer lady. Everything happening in this world is less of an impact. I realize her words are true. Conflict she was talking about. What exactly is it? Guess we'll know soon enough. Let's go. All right. On to number 3, the players. And we're going to be playing as Alpha in this one. I love all these pieces of art as well. These are all thumbnail worthy. Honestly, this might be the one I use for the thumbnail if I don't find a 3D cutscene. It's all corrupted. If I leave traces with these creatures behind. Or I follow the traces they leave behind. Wah! Alright, let's rock it. Draw! Bateau! Let's go. You have to admit, this gameplay looks fun. That's also why I hop on this like once every 6 months since it released, because like the gameplay is deeply enjoyable as long as you're not too worried about it being hard or anything. The way that the actual gameplay works is the bottom left, you'll always be having certain colors and pings. Certain characters will have different mechanics. So this character's mechanic is that she can only draw her sword after she gets a 3 ping of the blues, but then she can use reds and yellows. And the most upgraded version of every attack is when you have 3 of the same color ping next to each other. So it's just a matter of kind of prioritizing that yourself. And if you dodge, you get an automatic 3 ping for free. So let's actually get a dodge in. 1 sec. All right, hit me. Hit me! Hit me! Ha! Then you get an automatic 3 ping off of it. And that's basically what you're trying to do. You're trying to get perfect dodges, get your Bayonetta witch time to be able to pop higher tiers of pings and do the most damage as possible. Think of it as like in 7 Deadly Sins, whenever you use a 3-star card. When you use a... Okay, in 7 Deadly Sins, when you use a 1-star card, it's like a 140% multiplier. When you use a 3-star card, it's 600%. It's like that. Oh, hey. There's a couple of pawns. Those actually might be bishops. I can't tell. Guess it'll tell me. Alrighty, I guess we're trying to protect the black side. Nice. Good save. Have you ever heard Megalovania before? Do-do-do-do. Oh, it's a mental image, not actually a chess piece. Now it's not going to reveal it to me. Nice. And now draw. Yeah, her eye only awakens whenever you draw it, so your kind of mechanic is that you're trying to draw as soon as possible. These guys keep on teleporting to hit me. I need to try and get the dodge timing down. Yeah, she also gets like an ultimate whenever you get enough of the draw abilities. Oh, Rook. They called it Rook now. Cool. I mean, that kind of explains that this is the one that can go anywhere and body me. Nice. I do think I would need to practice with her a lot more to be able to understand her gameplay well and know how to loop her properly, but I just love her design. You still alive? Damn it, why in the world? Why have you all... So this character is important, by the way. Just to preface this, they did mention that there's another character inside the story that seemed to have entered this world and changed it somehow, and I don't think it's Blackrock Shooter. And so I'm pretty certain this is the main, like, protagonist we'll be looking at throughout this. Just keep an eye out. You done talking? I'm not gonna die here. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Oh, that hurts. Let me see your face. Able to stand the incessant babbling. Alpha kicks her impatiently. What do you mean? You're not gonna kill me? I will if you don't cut it out. Stand up now. What exactly? The girl stands on her feet shakily and removes the windproof cloak as told. What's your name? Fida. The girl reports her name honestly, while Alpha waits quietly for a while before continuing to speak. By the way, the fact that she's named after not a chess piece is pretty important. I'm just gonna drink some water while we're doing this. This is gonna be a long-ass video. We're at 25 minutes and I'm at 3 of 12. Maybe we'll make this 2 hour-and-a-half videos, but we'll get there after we keep on hustling. Bummer, I thought your name would be something more exciting. Bro! That's because you met the weirdest name of all time Blackrock shooter earlier. You can't expect everyone to be like a Chunibyo. Come on. I say bummer? You have no right to insult this name. Listen up, Vita. I just want to ask you a few questions, at least for now. Those white robe people attacked you earlier. Do you have anything to do with the castle? Anything about that castle? The one asking questions. I'm not entirely sure about specifics, but they appeared when that castle showed up. First it was a bunch of monsters I'd never seen before, then them. Damn it, why did it turn out like this? Why did they? Get yourself together. Who exactly are you? I'm not one of those people with the white mental images, and you're not going to kill me. Why should I, though? Just curious. You, go on. Baffled but being held at knife point, Peter starts talking. Corridors made out of mental images. This much you know, right? But a mental image doesn't naturally die out. It's only through human intervention that this process gets sped up. This world continues to fight this world thrives on fights between mental images. When one dies and decomposes, it turns into a corridor where it's reconstituted into a new mental image. And so on, mental images spark further conflicts. Essentially, this world is caught in perpetual cycle of the process. As a result, the inhabitants of this world are predisposed to combat upon meeting, with no chance of mediation, until one side is completely wiped out. Conflicts, huh? In a nutshell, battle of wills to seek to annihilate one another. Almost like chess matches, where it's always white versus black, and there will never be any gray between. In her world, fights among humans never ceased, driven by greed, emotions, ideologies, or beliefs. The closer the two wills are, the more they tend to harm each other. In the world of the corridor, such contradictions are manifested in a surprisingly direct manner. Alpha remembers what Blackrock Shooter said to her about the fight they had when they first got here. All those conflicts you've been through have made you who you are today, I can just tell. You sure like yapping, huh? Unfortunately, you're just an outsider like them, so I can't let you walk away a winner. Corridor is a mirror. How could you not know this? It's simple. I don't belong here. I'm an outsider, and I'm not interested nor obligated to adhere to all the rules here. An outsider? I think I've heard of outsiders, but this is my first time actually running into one. Alright, you haven't answered the most important question. That castle, how much do you know about it? She doesn't answer the question, her gaze quickly shifts and her eyes are heavy with urgency and worry. I can tell you that, but I need to make the trip back to the village first. Some things I need to confirm. I kind of like that Fida's smile is kind of shaky. You can see a little bit of like, ooh. The what? The village. Wait, you never heard of this word? I didn't mean to say you have no common sense, don't get me wrong. Oh, that's her eyes darkened. Alphys presses the urge to draw her blade and cut her down. Basically, do mental images form alliances based on what you said? They couldn't at first, but although small in scale, some do. Some mental images start to band together to be stronger, forming small settlements. Usually the mental images are from different settlements that wage wars against one another. Alright, show me the way then. Are you coming? The information you have alone is enough. If Fida can take her to a place that she can obtain more information, it would save Alpha a lot more time trying to verify the truth. What's the matter? Worried I might hurt your friends? No. Well, if I don't take you there, you wouldn't let me go anyway. After muttering to herself, she clenches her fist and then quickly releases it. As if trying to hide her emotions, she puts her hood back on and takes it off in front of Alpha. And there's the castle. Unbeknownst to them, the sky corridor tinged with a hint of red. The punishing network starting to go between the castle walls. On closer inspection, the countless red specks are floating beneath the clouds, weaving into an endless ribbon of light in one direction. This ribbon of light led to the massive castle. And deepest parts of the castle, a pristine, secluded chamber with nothing but a narrow throne. The girl that sits upon it is known as the King. Countless red particles drift to the open windows to the foot of the throne, slowly taking shape and eventually coalescing into white figures. Pure white warriors kneel before her, awaiting her command. Dismissed. Continue on with the final expedition. She seems to be quite clearly infected by the virus all throughout this area. Even her crown, her symbol of authority, is being corrupted by the virus itself. Cool. Oh wait, let me actually reread that. White mental images exit the throne room. They'll join the army. By destroying mental images in this world with the corrupted and hetero creatures and interfering with the Ascension Network, she's going to make it impossible for deceased mental images to be born again through the corridor. She leveraged collected mental images to create her own army, no longer adhere to the corridor's law of mutual slaughter and act like puppets, completely obedient to her commands. Almost like she's an outsider. You found them yet? She asked the shadow behind a pillar in the room. The green-eyed girl takes 2 steps into the light and nonchalantly leans against the pillar. I like this art. This would be like my VTuber. I only ran into 2 of them. They should be hurrying over this way as they speak, or as we speak. It don't matter. As for the remaining one, noticed the rook disappeared. She'll probably show up uninvited. And your archenemy. She will be the greatest obstacle in my path. And so what it seems to be is this is an outsider from Punishing Gray Ravens I don't recognize. And this is the antagonist from Black Rock Shooter. I don't remember this girl's design at all. I'll be real with you. But I know they do hug. I remember them hugging at one point. But yeah, interesting. We're one step away from transforming this world. I hope to resolve it in the most peaceful way possible. I don't get it. Why are you going through so much trouble? And why are you helping me? I'm not helping you. I just think that that child will definitely try to stop you. I'd rather have another fight with her rather than joining her. I can only feel my true worth through battles with her. Beyond that, I'm not interested. Were they sisters? Was that the plot? They're both on the side of black, but they're fighting anyway. I think that was something like it. I don't know. I need to go rewatch it. Maybe between this episode and the next episode, I'm going to watch Black Rock Shooter over again. Let's do that. I like that. We'll do multiple episodes of this, and I'll watch the show between this one and the next one. Such a shallow and naive thought. Well, I'm not sure if trying to conquer the world is any more interesting. Conquer? No, it's transform. This world is far too barbaric. Its filtering methods are too primitive. Endless conflict and plunder only breeds a civilization filled with violence. Since I, Ascension Network, am here, I must end this all rationally. You're the physical embodiment of the Ascension Network? Oh shit. No wonder you're all infected. This is just part of your existence. First, you must put an end to the meaningless conflict and update the filtering rules, which will be the foundations of a perfect world. Is that just repackaging world conquest? No matter how noble your cause, it means nothing to me. Suit yourself, but in the end, you too will be filtered by me, Ascension Network. We don't need 2 sets of rules in one world. Well, I'm seriously hoping it won't be too boring then. Ugh, what good writing. They're tying in, like, the plot of Punishing Gray Raven into it. It's so fun. So we did the players, we're on to the Helix. When I think of the Helix, it's like 2 colors that are wrapped into like a DNA spiral, right? We're here is the village you talked about? Yeah. Place, well thought so. We're gonna kind of speed through this one a little bit more. No one knew how to fight in the village before I left. Castle appeared not too long ago. Decent relationship with us. Organized elite mental images to investigate it. Only one person returned, and he said the master of the castle possessed incredible power. Wouldn't stand a chance of winning even if we tried. She demands that visitors play a game with her, and the challengers must assemble a faction. A game. She recalls the appearance of that castle. The black and white color reminded her of chess. Wait, she knows what chess is! Oh, it's because it's part of her backstory with Lucia. Oh, okay. Look, why do pawns only move 1 square at a time while the queen can go anywhere she wants? That's because that's what the rulebook says. No, it's because queen is freedom, while peasants can't actually have the autonomy they want. But why? The rules are so hard to remember. Do we have to play exactly as it says? But Luna, how do you want to play? Dad and Mom only left us this thing while they were gone. Let me come up with a new way to play this game. We'll decide the rules. Alpha stops herself going down memory lane. What then? They failed? Why did you leave the village? Wait, so is Alpha actually one of Lucia's childhood friends? I didn't know that. I don't think I read this all that clearly, but obviously that's what they're hinting towards. I haven't gotten to that point in the main story either. The challenge from the second batch honestly seemed pretty suicidal to me. That didn't hit any of you? So what if it did? Conflict is unavoidable. I tried to persuade them, but not one of them listened. Bunch of idiots. So why'd you follow them? According to that person, you need a certain number of people to recognize as a faction. Running short on people while the elites were wiped out. I couldn't just run away alone. You have to meet their minimum player requirement to play this game. To wonder what you stand to gain from the game and why they made it so complicated. On the other hand, the corridor barely has any rules to speak of. An iterative mechanism based on everything. If Ascension Network wants to continue filtering here, what are you talking about? It's not something you need to worry about. Figure out everything you wanted to know. Why are you here? She said the same thing I did. On a mission, of course. As the corridor's medic and mechanic, I'm here to help common folks. Patients attacked me and I'm here to check on the survivors. Oh, the place has just been attacked. Can you clarify who the survivors are? She immediately becomes respectful and reverent of the craftsman prestige of this world. Vita, you're back? That's a cute design. Reminds me of Arknights a lot. Vita, where did the rest of them go? Did you succeed? No, we failed. Everyone else is gone except for me. Who are you? Never seen you before. Why are you with Vita? Pendulum just have little combat ability, but their tone still carries a hint of aggression toward Alpha, a stranger. The one who saved her. You wouldn't want to get in the wrong side of me. Alpha gives a warning, her gaze compelling mental images to move their hands away from their weapons. Consider her a friend of mine. Also help us deal with the incident at the castle. Oh, I see. Oh, so they only trust the craftsmen. They don't actually have any faith in that. You saved these people? No, I just got here. Looks like someone else intervened. Someone else? Could it be someone from outside the village? Possible. People out here have no reason to help someone. There's two people we've never seen before. They helped us fend off the white mental images. Good toll on us nonetheless, though. Oh, it's Lucia and me. Weird. You look like one of the two. Huh? Following the mental images, Vita looks at Alpha, feeling confused. Is that so? Is she someone you know? A friend of yours? Are you trying to sound funny? I guess they were here too. Alpha falls deep into thought before shaking her head. I'm not getting anywhere thinking about these things now. We'll see when we meet them. So, are you going to lead these people to safety now? No, I'm in no position to do anything. She shakes her head and silently watching Vita walk among the group of surviving mental images. Vita, now that you're back, let's chop and get the third expedition organized. I'm not sure if we have enough people. She does not want to do that, bro. That is not her first instinct. Everyone here, we might just barely make it. No, what's wrong with you all? Are you nuts? Still going to line up and march to your deaths after all of this? It's because that's their programming. That's what they're made to do. To our deaths? You're saying our fight is pointless? So what if I am? Haven't you seen how strong these mental images were? You don't think we have a chance to stand a chance at all, do you? See, this is as good as killing yourself. Death is only a process of returning to the corridor, Vita. We don't need to fear it. Conflict is the reason the corridor exists. It's our calling. If we flee now, the corridor is going to fade. Don't you want to avenge our people who got slaughtered by these mental images, Vita? All of you, out of your fucking minds! I said, I emphasized it. Friggin' minds! All this nonsense. Why do you still believe in them? Fleeing is clearly the only sensible choice if you are facing an enemy you don't stand a chance against. Whether we're alive or not makes no difference to the corridor. What's so bad about living just a little longer? Why do we have to put up with these stupid fights? Vita, we are deeply disappointed in you. Have you forgotten Malaka's teachings? Shut up! Enough! You know what? Suit yourselves. I'm not going. Hey, where are you going? Alpha reaches out and grabs Vita's hat as she's about to run off in frustration. I think that meant hand, not hat. That's supposed to be hand. What do you want? If they go, they should just go with you. You don't have to make things so difficult for me. You're right. Alpha lets go to Vita, leaving Vita to stumble and forward and nearly fall. Never mind. None of my business anyway. Vita just really wanted her to care in that moment because she's the one who actually has common sense. But Alpha's strong enough where she has always been the one to lead the charge, so she doesn't understand weakness. This is a really cool little piece of character writing. Vita puffs her cheeks as she's about to put back on her hood when she knows something that catches her to freeze. Causes her to freeze. She looks at the sky under the red, pale ribbon of light. A thin white tributary branches out. The luminescent white stream slowly flows toward the open area of the village where specks of light gradually focus into a shape. Finally, there's a bunch of mental images. Oh. Never mind. Wait! Did the RAD network just return the dead bodies of her friends? Huh. Ida murmurs as her legs move on their own toward the still unawakened figure and kneels at her side. This is... Corridor is giving birth to new life. This is them respawning after the death. Once fallen, mental images return to the corridor and eventually turn into new forms of life. All things in this world are born this way. Ida holds the hand of the newly born mental image. Her expression is unreadable. I mean, what do you feel whenever someone that you used to know becomes a newborn baby? It's strange. Huh? Did you notice something? So many have died. If it doesn't finish her sentence, but Fida already knows the rest. But where are the rest of them? Hundreds of mental images have been slaughtered by the castle, but only one image is born from the corridor. That ribbon of light. It's likely an interference from the Ascension network. Craftsman, what in the world is that exactly? The craftsman, not a tool for explaining the workings of this world. But yes, you'd be correct. Mental images killed by the creations of the castle can't return the corridor as usual. Instead, they are captured by the castle's master. That means that if the white mental images kill you now that the Ascension network has taken over, it's permadeath. It's likely that those white mental images were produced in the same manner. And so the permadeath turns you into her slave forever. This continues, maintenance operational mechanisms corridor will completely be altered. What it will evolve into, I can't say. Is that you don't know or you're not willing to tell us? Let's say I'm maintaining a bit of mystery. In any case, it's going to be a pretty bad situation. This mental image was able to be born to the corridor normally, though, probably because those two unnamed kind souls defeated some white mental images, which helped it gain some authority from the castle. Damn it, stupid. This is also freaking stupid. Wait, so if Alpha, Lucia, and me kill them, then they will respawn properly. Even if they are currently white mental images. That holds true. There's no point in rushing to their deaths. There's no point in them rushing to their deaths at all. Rita mutters angrily, her teeth clenched, and she pounds her fist on the ground, making a dull sound. Eventually, she carries the mental image, still asleep, to her group of friends, handing the girl to one of the mental images. All of you, just get the hell out of my face! Take her and leave now! You know the village's rules, right? When a mental image is born, someone needs to train her and give her a name. But the castle... Fine, fine, I'll go! Happy? I'm just gonna go follow that lady who looks strong. Keeping y'all around is only gonna slow me down anyway. Take good care of her, just as Malaka once took care of me. If we don't want to raise her to be a coward like you, though. Huh, that's funny. Are you done? Just hurry up and go. She's the only one who understands the mechanism of permadeath and is still willing to go because of it. Y'all are dumb as fuck. Fida, frustrated, drags the mental images and urges them to leave. By the way, if she wakes up before I get back, just name her Fida. I'll probably be long dead by then anyway. But if you fail, Fida... Alright, stop talking! After ensuring her friends head in the direction of the castle, Fida returns to Alpha's side. Aren't they a handful? You're not running away? Though... Thought you rock, no? Wait. Oh! That's cute. Okay. She's going slaying. That's like a cute little smile she's giving Alpha. I thought you rock, no? That castle should be a piece of cake for you, right? Sticking with you seems safer. Plus, they wouldn't have left if I didn't do this. I have no obligation to protect you. Never asked for that. I can fight just fine. So we're setting off like this? You're coming along too? How nice of you. Matter of the corridor survival. I need to contribute. My motorcycle? You're just gonna keep it? Of course not. I've already arranged for professional delivery. Just right then, they pull up. A girl in black rides toward them in a crimson bike, drifting to a stop right in front of Alpha, and she drove it here. Never agreed to let anyone else ride my bike. Come on, sharing is loving. Okay, sharing is caring. I guess that's a translationism? That's cute. I didn't even charge you for the repairs. Took time to get this bad boy up and running. Takes off her hood and dismounts the bike. You're... Seeing her face, Fida instantly collapses on the ground, looking lost in shock. The girl with the black attire and blue eyes observes Fida in silence. Fida's frightened demeanor reflected in her eyes. You're the demon of darkness. What a sick-ass title. Alright, so that was the Helix. The play. Do a head count and see how many we lost this time. Doopy, Migris, Okend, and they've merely returned to the corridor, completing the cycle of conflict. In time, people will eventually inherit their names and wills. Let's not talk about that for now. Let's bring her back. The light is blinding to the point of hurting the eye. Are you awake? Where is this? This is a battlefield where the conflict started and ended. I am Malaka, and you are Fida. Would you like to inherit this name and join us? It was only then she made out her surroundings. Particles of light float above the wasteland, slowly rising into the sky. Countless wills perished in the conflict, and she was born from it. The person in front of her smiles and reaches out her hand. Fida. Okay, I am Fida, and you are Malaka. And I imagine Malaka herself was probably raised by Fida. It's just this constant cycle of these generations swapping, it seems like. A constant conflict. Where are you taking me? Is it over? Leaning on her sword, Fida kneels on the ground, supporting her body to prevent herself from collapsing. In the wilderness, only a few are still moving. Her gaze heavy, she scans the battlefield for a particular figure. I'm here, Fida. You did well. It's hard to believe it's your first conflict. But, looking around, she sees a mound of dead bodies. The ceased mental images are starting to disintegrate. Once again, she sees the particles of light ascend to the clouds. Helios. Mizar. Don't be sad, Fida. This is something all mental images experience. They are born from the mind, and our form shapes are shaped by emotions. Not all minds are inherently strong, nor can all emotions be unwavering to maintain their original form. Conflict is the process of filtering and refinement. In mental images, death is not the end, but a brand new beginning. I know, you've taught me that many times. Does that mean Helios and Mizar are never coming back? That's right. Then, at least allow me to bid them farewell. May I, Malaka? If that's what you wish. That's interesting. Because she's willing to call this new person Fida and use the old name. But she also, Malaka herself, understands that Helios and Mizar won't be who they were before when they come back. In their current form, they'll forever be gone. There is a feeling of loss there that they have to acknowledge in themselves, but because it's all conflict, they have to move on. It's a good-ass writing. With Malaka's permission, Fida lifts her head, silently observing the sky, which seems even more blinding than usual, until the last glimmer of light fades away. But the idea that even the handing down of those emotions being taken away by the Ascension Network is exactly what the problem is. The cycle of rebirth is you handing down what those people meant to you to a new generation so that they can mean more to the people that will come after you too. But there is no recycling, there is no rebirth if the Ascension Network takes over. This is Calamitous. Black Rock Shooter, that's such a weird name. Who is she? Some call her the Wandering Calamity. Others call her the Demon of Darkness. Appearing out of nowhere in the corridor, challenging every mental image she encounters, never knowing defeat. She is the enemy we must confront. We can all set our differences aside when we come across her. She's been spotted near recently. Likely she will launch an attack on this area. Which means both white and black attack her. You're an exceptional warrior now, Vida. There'll be 86 fighters participating. I wish to include you in the team as well. Is she really that strong? Even those who were once our foes have joined the mission. The craftsman once said, "It's only when we defeat her that the corridor can move on to a new era." A new era? Does that mean conflicts are no longer necessary? I don't know, Vida. But if it's possible, I too wish to hope that day. But if possible, I too hope to see that day. If that day ever comes, would it mean everything we'll have done up to this point has been meaningful? Since her creation, she has always harbored the question. After she killed an enemy mental image at her own, with her own hands the first time, and watched them die reluctantly under her sword. After she witnessed the dissipation of comrades who had already been by her side day and night. After she set foot on countless battlefields and survived those merciless killings. After she saw a newly born mental image being taught and gradually becoming familiar and accustomed to conflict. The question did not disappear, but instead troubled her even more. What's the point of conflict? Why does everyone throw themselves at it? Why do we all need to cut each other's throats? Can't there be compromise and concession? The issue is that you don't know where these commands are coming from, or the leadership in which pushes you to do these conflicts. You don't know the war you're fighting, you're just the soldiers. That's exactly it. If you knew the cause you were fighting for, maybe this question would never come to mind because you would know there was no middle ground. But because the leadership never talks to you and is always above you and you're just the soldiers on the ground, you doubt and doubt and doubt. Why not flee when facing someone you know when you know you don't stand a chance against? Why not cherish the one life you get? It's because there's a means to an end. She meets the blue-eyed girl for the first time, as though trying to prove her point. And here we are. Vida thinks Malaka is wrong about one thing. This girl is not a demon. She is more like a reaper of lives, killing all who stand in her way indiscriminately. No attack can touch her. No defense can withstand her. Every strike of her sword claims a life. Every sound of her cannon is followed by cries that were never heard, or that never had the chance to be uttered. Yo! The cannon shoots so fast it obliterates them before they have the chance to yell out in pain. The girl easily broke through the layers of battle lines as if it were nothing, until she stood before her and Malaka. This music as well! Oof. That moment, her eye, burning with the blue flame, met hers. The girl's silent, raises her sword at Vida, apparently waiting for her to take initiative, to initiate a hopeless challenge. And Vida, without hesitation, casts the question aside, making up her mind almost instantly. Vida! She grabs Malaka's hand, fleeing from the battlefield that's turned to hell. And so Vida was the first one inside the entirety of the mental images to ever run from a conflict, to ever reject that. And her running from the white mental images earlier as well was her running. It's unique entirely to her. Enough. While traversing through another expanse of city ruins, Alpha speaks up, having had enough. How much longer are you going to cling to me? She speaks to Vida, who has been hiding behind her, tugging on the hem of her coat and peering ahead. Can I just hide for a bit? Clearly, Vida's maintaining a distance between her distance from the girl in black who was leading the way quietly. But you were so afraid of me just now. I don't understand how much. I mean, the whole idea of her joining the forces with people is just, it seems impossible. They fear seeing me. She's probably wiped out a few thousand mental images over this period of time. No, tens of thousands, probably closer to the truth. These mental images, she's like a great demon lord, or a final boss of sorts. Yep. Like you don't sugarcoat things at all. An unforeseen calamity. Basically, Blackrock Shooter is playing a character action game, and Vida is the mook. And Fida is the one mook that ran away and never wanted to get into that fight. In Devil May Cry, there's the one demon who runs the opposite direction and never comes back. It's like, according to the craftsman, Alpha, the girl who wasn't born in the corridor, is an outsider from an unknown place. In her world, too, there was a disaster that had come from the outside world. Alpha glances at the craftsman, strolling leisurely behind her, unable to see her face under the mask. Just stop thinking about this for now. As Alpha gathers her thoughts, she notices the girl in black has stopped cold. What's wrong? As she turns around to say something, she sees Fida, taking a half step backward behind Alpha after catching her gaze. I remember you. You don't have to run away this time. Fida. I definitely think that's an error. I think what that's supposed to be is they were gonna put like her reacting and wincing in reply, but they accidentally put a dialogue one and then didn't finish the sentence. That's weird. I've always been an enemy to you, and that's not going to change. Are you saying you're going to take revenge? Is that what you mean? Bring it on. I'm always ready. Say, why are you going to the castle? Or why are you going to the castle? You don't have a pass to the castle like I do, nor do you have any excessive concern with this world like the masked peon does. Person. Peon works too. As an outsider, not bound to the corridor or the conflicts at all. So what drives you to do all this? Nothing, really. I've been through endless battles. That's how my life has been. That's how it always will be. No matter where I am, no matter where I'm headed. Regardless of the reason, my battle never ends. I just don't want to stop moving forward. That's so. I feel like you understand. She was just spitting out nonsense. No. Alpha lives her life much the same way. A solo person trying to save the world and stop the conflict in front of her. Shut up. Ignore her. Are you gonna say something? It's too quiet. We're close to the castle, but no one is here to stop us. Who knows? Maybe this kind soul has cleared the way for us. Talking about the two who saved the village earlier. Let's keep going and see what we come across. Hold it steady. You don't want to mess with the throttle grip and knobs. Why are you bringing it here if you aren't going to ride it at all? Ignoring the mosquito-like complaints, Alpha hands the task of pushing the motorcycle to Fida and walks up to the front of the group. Oh my god. That's cute. Magnificent ancient ruin stands before her, and she knows that, beyond these buildings, lies the castle's turf. She steps carefully into the ruins, her footsteps on the marble floor echoing crisply. Suddenly, the light of a blade followed by a faint chill flashes straight forward in front of her in the dark. Alpha shifts sideways and dodges the first ambush. She then pops her kodachi out and clashes the second blow. The kodachi and katana cross in an X. Red electric arcs dance in a thin sheet of ice across the katana's blade, causing the shards of ice to shatter. Alpha? Thought I'd run into you here. Why are you here? Oh, didn't you know? Wait, did it say ice because... a random call. Nah, that's some random thing. Sorry about that. They said ice because I think that this Lucia is an ice type. Alpha's a lightning type. Who didn't know? Alpha smiles with a disdainful smile, exerting a slight force on her wrist to ward off Lucia's katana. Facing Lucia, who still aims her sword at her, Alpha lowers her gaze briefly, sheathing her kodachi to show she has no intention of fighting Lucia. Chill, I have no interest nor time to cross swords with you here. There are more pressing matters at hand for both of us, and you know that. Guess you've been dragged into this too. For a moment, I hoped you weren't here. Hey! I pulled you! Alpha frowns slightly at the figure emerging from the dark. What's going on, Alpha? Why are we here, and what does the cats have to do with the Ascension Network? I really have no clue why you're here. I have my suspicions, but I guess I'm a little bit more certain now. Commandant, could it be? Quick thinker, aren't you? The incident at Fort Winter corroborates the unbreakable bond between Alpha and Lucia, and it's hardly surprising that Lucia, being another sister to Luna, would be implicated. As for the Commandant, being the only human to have formed a deep mind connection with Luna, they indeed hold a unique significance. Interesting. Alpha's thoughts briefly wander. He's certain that this human has arrived to the same conclusion. Are we done chit-chatting here? Pressman steps forward and starts to... Looks like I've seen you somewhere before. No, but you're mistaking me for someone else. You're the two that saved our village. Examines Lucia, or Fida examines Lucia for a moment and turns to Alpha, recalling what she knew about the village. We did pass by a place that seemed like a village. We fought off some dudes in white. You're strong. She looks at Lucia for a moment and shifts her gaze to the human. You are very strong, in a way. Thanks? Are you friends of Alpha? You don't look the part. It's actually kind of funny. She has to, like, point to you, like, you're not a fighter, but you kind of have some crazy stuff inside you. A whole gotcha, if you will. We're under a temporary partnership. All right, we've been on the move for so long. Let's take our chance to rest here. Get to know each other a little bit. Craftsman produces several blank autograph cards and pens, starts distributing them. We're to get name tags? Black Rock Shooter. So that's your name? What do we do with this star symbol? That will do. We ran into someone else with a pretty bizarre name before too. Do you know her? Thought so. What do you mean? Never mind. If they're still an enemy, we'll just have to make sure that they go down. Anyway, enough chit-chat for now. What do you want to do? If you don't mind, I don't mind settling things here once and for all. I mean, we fought so many times now, I'm kind of getting fed up here. Wait, are you trying to pick a fight here? But why? Can't we just talk things out? Alpha ignores Fida, who looks nervously at her. Her fingers resting on the Kodachi guard as she observes Lucia and the human's reactions. So that's exactly it as well. Alpha wants to break down those barriers in a way by calling out the fact that they pretty much are locked in internal conflict between each other as well. She's almost exactly like how this world works, but in the real world, because she perceives herself as other than Lucia and the Doctor. Or the human, rather. Called the Doctor, because Arknights. Not fully on board with what you told us, but she has wrists turned slightly, shooting her katana as if she looks at the commandment at her side. Along the way, we gather some intelligence ourselves. This really is an alternate world. We don't mind setting aside our differences and hard feelings for now. Let's focus on getting to the bottom of things and figure things out on the way back. Decisive as ever. Well, I didn't think you'd hold back. That's a surprise. Agreed. I didn't expect you'd call a truce. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. Descendants, Babylonia, constructs, humans. These conflicts won't disappear. But now is not the time to settle them. And she literally says these conflicts. It's almost like this is literally like the inspiration for Alpha's character. Was Black Rock Shooter meant to be the direct inspiration? That's why they did this collab story. Not what I should be doing now. Moreover, from the information we gather, we need a certain number of people to participate in the game at the castle. There are a billion things between us that are better settled somewhere else. Yes, the conflict continues no matter where you go, no matter who you are. See? Yeah! Are you narrating the scene for them? The shaky smile. They may as well be a comedy duo. Straight man and shy girl. In short, the more participants, the greater our chances to beat the game. It's just that I'm not sure what kind of game the master has in mind. Anyway, let's head over there. Yep, it's right up ahead. You'll reach the castle's main entrance at the end of the ancient ruins. After achieving a brief peace, the makeshift team sets out toward the source of this anomaly. Here we are. Before the Grand Castle Gate, everyone stands firm at the foot of the stairs. Finally. Right then, they see a slender figure, slowly stepping up the stairs. Down the stairs. This music kind of sounds like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I kind of feel it. I was expecting you all to get here sooner. You are... Lucia's voice grows shaky as she sees the figure's face. Luna, no. You're not her. I am, of course, the king. The one who sets the rules. So I guess Luna is the idea of the network itself, and it splits itself into pieces. Though her face is strikingly similar, the way she carries herself and the tone of her voice completely different from Luna's. Seeing the master of the castle, Alpha's katana sparks with lightning, and she draws it out at lightning speed. A dazzling arc of electricity lashes out at the figure. The sound of a blue-white cannon being fired follows. The shot and ear-splitting explosion is enough to engulf Luna right away. So, Black Rock Shooter also shot her. These attacks are meaningless. This is my Ascension Network's domain, meaning you all have to play by the rules I have set. As the smoke clears, Alpha and the rest of the group see their attack proved ineffective, and the king remains unscathed. Alpha. Lucia, LeaIsChill, the girl with black hair and blue eyes. She who calls herself the Craftsman, and some tag-along I don't recognize. Everyone who needs to be here is here now. She raises her hand and casually tosses several streams of light in her palm, which land before you. They are black chess pieces, and the one landing before you bears a crown. This is the king, what the girl claims to be. This is... Wait. Tia seems to want to say something to the king, but a violent shake cuts her short. Now then, let the game begin. The world before you grows twisted. It seems as if the ground beneath you collapsed in an instant. They gave us a king to be able to protect. And we were sucked into a bottomless pit. We pass out cold. Okay. So, I think in this video we're going to do the game, the duel, and then we'll come back for the rest of it from there. But we also are going to do a boss fight. So we're going to do the game, the duel, and then one boss fight and wrap up for today. Let's keep on doing this. What in the world is going on? For consciousness... See, now I'm actually invested in the story and I'm reading all of it. You notice that? Consciousness experiences the whole world just inside the castle. Commandant. She doesn't see her commandant, but the connection of their minds remains unbroken. The mind beacon is securely anchored to her mind, meaning that her commandant is not in immediate danger. Lucia looks around when her gaze falls to the floor at her feet, noticing a faint glowing mark. This is a chess piece. Symbol for a knight in chess. And when the piece's bottom is black, that means it's black. My memory serves me correct. The king, this is what the king gave me. Each of them were given a chess piece, and Lucia recalls being given the black knight. That's what the king meant. He was going to play a game, chess. Does that mean the whole castle is a chessboard? Does anything feel familiar to you? The girl in black appears next to Lucia, seemingly out of nowhere. Miss Black Rock Shooter. Seems we've been brought to the same starting point. Under her feet, there's a mark that appears with a chess piece that's different from Lucia's knight. She represents the Black Queen. That makes sense. She can move anywhere, kill anyone, and destroy anything in her path. Feel free to drop the honorific when you address me. The girl nods slightly, not nearly as overly cautious of her surroundings as Lucia. She seems familiar with the weird things that are happening to them now. What do you mean by that? When you were at the main entrance, it seemed like it wasn't your first time seeing the king. Do you all know her? Well, let's just say it's a bit complicated. Complicated, huh? Then I won't pry. Sounds like a whole lot of trouble. Sure. The king looks like someone I know, but I'm pretty sure they're not the same person. I think there's definitely a connection, though. That might have to do with my commandant and why I got brought here. And you, Black Rock Shooter, how'd you get to the corridor yourself? Never had a chance to have this conversation before. I don't know. Nor is it something I need to understand. Never mind me. Look up there. Is that... The ceiling is adorned with a three-dimensional hologram composed of floating data streams, almost perfectly mirroring the castle's appearance. Then, near the base of the castle, several red dots flicker into existence. And so this is our world map. To represent our locations, yep, seems like we're supposed to head to the top of the castle, but Black Rock Shooter starts making her way toward the stairs, lead up to the second floor. 2 steps in, though, she gets stopped cold by an invisible barrier. She swings her blade at the barrier, blocking her path, but the sword gets flicked away in a moment. Seems like we can't just go anywhere we want to go. Now then. In front of her, and Lucia, several floating dice appear. You need to roll the dice to move. Seems your dice and mine are different. They have the same number of dice, but the one that Lucia has is an old-school 6-faced dice, but whereas Black Rock Shooter has a 12-faced dice that has more points on it, because she's the queen. This is because of different chess pieces we represent. Chess pieces and dice. It's actually based on some actual game. That's a surprise. Wait, could this be... Fate memories stir, and Lucia's thoughts bring back to the mansion from her childhood. Is that a eureka moment just now? Oh, did they make up their own chess rules that involve dice? Because they didn't want to play the way that it was actually written? So they're playing out the old version of chess that Lucia and Luna made up as a kid? That's cute. Luna, she Lucia raises her head, her gaze intense and heavy with worry as her eyes dart to the top of the castle. Commandant. That's really cool. They'll probably explain it later, but I love that. Kids making up their own rules in chess is really funny to me. Well, no, don't mind me. The chilling hall, craftsman casually sits an exquisitely made counter, while Fida stands somewhat dazedly in the corner of the room. Beneath their feet, black chess pieces symbol is thicker. Fida is a pawn, while the craftsman represents the bishop. Yeah, you're gonna be stuck far behind, Fida. Looks like there's no way out of here. Like you always try to avoid conflict. Why is that? She goes against the nature of the world. Isn't the mission for mental images? Or wasn't that the mission mental images were born to fulfill? Craftsman, with a keen interest, poses the question to Fida. Oh, that sure caught me by surprise. See, I don't really know how to answer that. I don't see conflict as inherently right like some do. What becomes the corridor? I think it has little to do with me. Malaka and they have told me. That's a weird yeah. Malaka and they have told me that coming back to the corridor is part of the process, but it's probably Malaka and them. Even if a new Fida appears in this world, it should be someone else, not me. The emotions and thoughts we show while trying to resolve conflict change in the process, too. Huh, I like that. The conflict also breeds the depth of emotion that you can represent. Whether sentient beings truly possess autonomy is a question worthy of exploring, but more specifically, you're saying you don't want the current you to disappear, is that right? Does that sound weird to you? I can't give you a definitive answer. That's something you need to decide for yourself. Besides, I can't really tell you what makes an idea weird. Why don't we try to focus on the game instead? I'm curious though, if you hate conflict so much, why are you here when you could have avoided this? Because if she wasn't here, the one she cares about would be. Fida, her gaze flickering, doesn't answer the question. What about yourself? Or are you helping us now even though you've always remained neutral? Would you believe me if I said it was just on a whim? Well, guess your face says it all. Look at this face. That's doubt. No, I didn't mean to. But honestly, what I want isn't really important. It's a rare opportunity. Let's see how the kings are going to move, shall we? So who's the Black King? Is it Alpha? They haven't actually shown that yet. It's probably me, isn't it? It's a commandant. Because I'm the one who plays the gotcha. In the room lit by a ghastly white light, you find yourself strapped to a chair. Ooh. Inky? I mean, what? I didn't say anything. You feel bound in place by chains you can't see, unable to stand up or move. You're forced to look at the chessboard before you. What's the matter? Just FYI, you don't have the whole day to think. They short-formed for your information because I like that. The king's mocking tone makes its way to your ears, her red eyes reminiscent of two greedy black holes, threatening to suck your consciousness into them. Suck into them your consciousness is not how you write that. Well, don't you think? You're asking your opponent to make a move without telling them the rules. You jolt awake to see a red figure that has apparently shown up out of nowhere. Strikes you like a bolt of thunder. Because they didn't explain the actual dice rules. Walks up to you, her presence every bit as formidable as the king's. Or are you just a coward who preys on beginners? Alpha? Come on, I'm better than that. Alpha's definitely a rook. This human can connect their consciousness with an agent. And I just want to see if I could dig something special out of this human here. Is she a rook and did she just castle? Is that what this is? She castled and so she's protecting me? What in the world? Now, this is a civilized place and I'll do my duty as a host. The basic rule is, this castle is a chessboard, and you roll the dice to be able to move toward the goal. The king's fingers brush over the data model on the table, with a dozen specks of light in different colors. Clearly, they represent chess pieces on both sides. The chess pieces are people from either faction. Their starting positions are randomly determined to avoid immediate captures. Easy enough, right? The king waves her hand, and with it, you see a new set of data projected on you, showing the statues of chess pieces and the remaining number of dice each chess piece has. Is this a variant of Sugo Roku? Sugo Roku. Never heard that. I'm gonna Google that. Sugoroku refers to a thing called double six. Of course, that's what it means. Similar to tabletop games. It's more similar to backgammon and snakes and ladders. Fascinating. Okay. Board games with dice aren't common. The guys from the WGAA have made you play a few with them. Thought you'd have me play chess with you directly. That would have been lame, wouldn't it? Test you on your computational skills, nothing else. Just super lame. Okay, do not diss chess. Chess is fucking sick. I grew up on chess. So I thought we'd do something a little bit more peaceful here. It will not be peaceful. Look who's talking. There are actually more rules than what I just said, but I don't think I need to go over every single one of them, right? Alpha just called you out for that. Explain the fucking rules. I'm sure someone from your side is familiar with this game. Well, obviously Lucia is. Alpha, any clue? Nuna and I came up with this game together. Okay. Okay. Of course, I know all the rules, it's just that Alpha stares at the king, her gaze sharp as a blade. You're not Luna, what have you done to her? Alpha, calm down. You know, Alpha is moments away from drawing your sword and slicing the chessboard, except this is no place for a rampage. So you're very worried about your sister. Well, not that I'm going to keep anything hidden from you anyway. Burdened by beyond its capacity by relentless filtering, the shard of the agent showed up here and was regarded as an anomaly that shouldn't be here. Corridor mirrors the shape of emotions, and it is by accepting these emotions I was able to appear. Agents are destined to enact the wills of the Ascension Network. I am merely fulfilling the duty she was meant to carry out. So the Luna that came here got filtered as an outsider because she was so powerful. But the feelings that she had infected the world anyway and created the virus. Basically, this is an embodiment of the virus from Luna, given physical form and given a mission in the world that she was forced out of. Which means we need to defeat you to save her. Alpha lowers her eyelids, choosing to ignore the king. LeaIsChill, you know what to do. A flash of red crosses your mind. The force connection causes a familiar sting of pain in your consciousness. Didn't know you kept this passage open. You here to help? I think you could afford to lose anyway. Oh, do we have like a telekinesis thing? And we're connected so you can get into my brain, but that's in the main story, so I haven't actually seen it yet? Interesting. Alpha is right. The king stands as your greatest roadblock one way or another if you want to find your way back. Before we get there, why is Alpha here? She is one of the pieces. Under Alpha's feet is the mark of the rook. The mark of the rook twinkles. She too was supposed to occupy a position on the chessboard. Yeah, she castled! She castled! Come on, say it! Right from the get-go, both rooks dim on the projected scoreboard. That's because she defeated the person that was going to assign the role of rook to her. Oh, so she already beat the rook down. Okay. In the interest of playing fair, I decided to get rid of the rooks from the start. Fair, huh? It only shows how little confidence you have in yourself when you pull these tricks. That's so. Well, playing with one less piece is kinda BM, isn't it? The king's smile fades, seeming unfazed by Alpha's taunt. Well, if there's no objections, allow me to take the lead to show all of you how this game works. The king touches the white queen on the virtual chessboard, making her first move. Alright, white queen it is. And so we're gonna go ahead and hit up the duel, and let's see what they got. We have Lucia Plume here, which I personally haven't tried yet. And can I actually give you guys a cub? No, I can't. Okay. The specks of light on the inverted virtual castle slowly begin to move, showing that the game has begun. She made her first move. Long story short, this is some kind of board game, right? Yeah, my sister thought chess was too boring, so we modified chess and came up with this. That's so funny! Rules are somewhat similar to Ludo or Monopoly, in that random events are triggered whenever you land on certain squares. You need to battle through dice rolls to see through dice rolls when you come across one of your opponent's pieces. So in that case, every piece has a certain output, and so two pieces fighting, a pawn has a small chance of beating a queen if you roll like snake eyes, right? If you roll a 1. A pawn that rolls a 4 would beat the queen in that case. But Lucia has a 6 die, while the queen has a 12 die. And so you are underpowered for that conflict from the get-go if you're using a lesser piece. That's kind of cute. I kind of like that. I don't know about setting up like random events on the board because I don't think it'd be that easy, but that's kind of fun. The goal is to get as many pieces from the finish line as possible, or to the finish line as possible, with the winner determined by the points of the pieces. These examples might be hard for you to grasp. So you're also trying to make it so you're turning all your pawns into queens. All of your pawns have to hit the end of the board so that you can get more points at the end of the game, because they can never go backwards and take you. So the conflicts happen only in the middle, and then on both sides it becomes neutral. No, I totally get what you're saying. Ludo, that's the board game where pieces fly from the base to the finish, right? I've heard of it. Do you know what that is? Because she's from the real world. Why, is that such a surprise to you? No, it's not that. I don't know you that well yet. I know what macarons are too. Too sweet and sticky for my taste. That is totally a reference, isn't it? Black Rock Shooter macarons. Yep. There's the reference. Cute. Alright, I can't wait to, after this episode, go and watch that. I really want to see what that story was about, because I don't remember it all that well. Oh, is that so? What does that have to do with anything that we're doing here? It's just because the OVA had so little characterization, they wanted to pull that in. Something's coming. Get yourself ready. Led by instinct, Black Rock Shooter draws out her sword and raises it to the room's entrance. A moment later, you're the White Queen? Oh shit, okay. The room's door slowly opens and a girl in a black dress steps through with white footsteps. Oh, been a while, huh? Well, guess I can't say it's actually been that long. She greets them cheerfully with a bright smile. Dead Master, I thought I'd see you here. Black Rock Shooter puts out a defeated look, which she rarely does. Try to look like you're enjoying this if you did. Why the sour face when you look so nice with a smile? So you know each other. I knew it. But to be correct, she and I are fated rivals. Not even death shall do us part. Just that we're meant to train our weapons at each other no matter where we go or what happens. Isn't there something quite romantic about that bond that nothing can sever? You're just something I've known for a while. Someone I've known for a long time. You sure are cold. Wait, you're not a mental image that the king came up with? If that's the case, why are you fighting us then? By that logic of interest, you should take our side. Interests. That's too complicated for me, I'd rather not bother. To put it simply, my stance is the opposite of hers. She chooses to side herself with the king, and I might consider standing with you. That's just how she is. There's no talking sense into her. She's just a contrarian so that she can compete with the person in front of her. Not that we need to overthink this anyway. Since this is a game, we'll see each other as the opponent. Isn't that where the battle begins? This time won't be like our last, or the time before that. Or the time before that, giving you no chance to sneak attack me. You always get sneak attacked? I guess at least 3 times in the OVA she gets jumped. I'll be keeping an eye out for that. Alright, I can hardly wait. Though I love to echo your enthusiasm, now's not the time. You gotta wait a little bit longer. The dice before the Dead Master glows slightly, or faintly, indicating she hasn't moved the square yet, and that she hasn't moved to the square that she's supposed to be at yet. Under her feet, a symbol identical to Black Rock Shooter's, similar to Black Rock Shooter starts flashing, indicating she's been assigned the role of White Queen. Oh, I'm heading straight to the finish line now. She walks straight past Lucia and Black Rock Shooter, leaving the room. I still remember her from when we first met. I have to say, she really does as she pleases. I'm pretty much used to that by now. So she's the White Queen, huh? From my experience fighting her, I can see that she's not someone you want to take lightly. Right. I guess I know better than anyone else. Right then, the dice around Black Rock Shooter glows up. The dice spins in midair and finally settles on the number 11. That's a crazy first roll. It's our turn now. Lucia, you literally could not hit 11. You'll never be able to follow Black Rock Shooter all the way then. The queen possesses greater mobility than any piece, making it easiest to reach the goal. Also scores the highest. Generally, even at the expense of other pieces, the queen should be prioritized to reach the goal first. Lucia, one of the creators of this chessboard game, remembers her time playing it with her sister, even if the memory is quite distant. So in that case, higher value pieces are also seen as higher scores at the end of the game, and then you count at the end. See you around. Okay. Parting ways, Lucia. Blackrock Shooter moves the next square, following the points shown on the dice. And so it hustles. But I'm playing as both of them in this fight. Let's do it. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh. Hard to say what's going to happen next, but I want to give the commandment some advice. Seems I can't connect to the commandment from here, but I still have the mining connection. Only thing I can do is trust the commandment's judgment. My turn now. Why are we in the black pocket dimension? Ooh. This is a random event then. Looks like the random event was a battle. The crossing blades definitely feels like that. She's ahead of me, I have to catch up with her. You got it! The game looks like after modification. Let's have this same position anyway. Let's do it! This is the enemy I met before. Oh, it transforms directly. Here we go! I haven't ever played as Lucia, I don't think, except for in this quest. So I don't actually know how she plays, but I wonder what her mechanic is. Every individual character usually has one mechanic. The Red Tide. Blackrock Shooter, watch out! Oh, I'm playing as her. Cool. Roll! Nice. Do that. I want to jab you. And then slash a little bit. This perspective's kind of weird. I'm not used to this, but this feels like a Devil May Cry 3 perspective, doesn't it? Nice. Yeah, I actually do want to work on this Blackrock Shooter up to pretty high tiers in the gacha, because I feel like she'll never actually return, and I like how her gameplay works. Building up the bullets so that you can just use all of them on the bottom here, up to 16, and then nuke out the enemies is super fun. Finally caught up with you. Alright, let me help you. Let's do it! And I can use both right now freely. You can see on the top right, I can now swap to Lucia whenever I want to. The game is typically played with 3 characters. There you go. Is it over? Seems not. This is... Oh, it's a worm! That's actually like a casual boss that appears in story mode. Jab! Alright, our priority is still to get 3 pings, and so that's why we're always going to be using the ones between to access the 3 pings the best we can. Okay, this guy is actually beating my ass, so let me focus up a little bit. Nice. Just keep on dodging as he does toxic stuff. This really does remind me of Devil May Cry, though. It feels interesting. Also, Blackrock Shooter summons a chessboard whenever she uses her ultimate here. You can notice it. The king is. This way, please. Candlestick! You're not at chess pieces. They're just being silent up here. Blackrock Shooter is not a yapper. That's the whites. Let's go. Is this a second rook? Wait, look underneath me. You can see the queen. It actually shows what piece I am as I'm stepping on top of it. That's a knight. You can tell it's a knight because it says it underneath it whenever it's walking. Okay, let's swap to Lucia for a sec. Okay, got the dodge. Nice. Ult. Oh, the ultimate's actually a buff until it runs out, and then you can pop the crazy attack like that. So she kind of has something similar to Blackrock Shooter's mechanic then. A little bit different, but it's similar enough where you can use it in the same way. For Black Box Shooter, she can only start loading her bullets once she uses her ult once. And so you need to always use the jab before you start to build bullets up. And here we go. Dead. I like that there's gameplay where you have to like put a little bit of thought into how you're playing the characters as well. It does create the extra depth that some character actions don't like to do. And obviously Devil May Cry, the depth is from the way that you combo. But in this game, the depth comes very much from you directly engaging with the mechanic of the character and trying to optimize it for as many 3 pings as possible. And it's kind of fun in that way. I think that Genshin is the reactions, and I don't find that as fun because it is just only the reactions. But all right, let's get through it. Starting at the holographing map and updating the positions in real time, Fida, who has not moved yet, turns to the craftsman who finds himself in the same situation. Does it mean we can't decide what we want to do? The pieces are controlled by the player, which would be the king. We on the chessboard cannot communicate with the player, so the player judgment is the only thing that prevails. Doesn't it seem contradicting how the pieces get to decide where to go when the player is the one dictating the whole game? What it is the player then has to have faith in the pieces to know where they should be going. The player has to sacrifice some of their pieces for the sake of victory. Are we dead when that happens? Game only continues that way when the player wants it to, or his or her pieces are willing to sacrifice themselves for the player. Sacrifice. Pretty obvious, no? Not all pieces can reach the goal. Let's say, for instance, so seeing something, Craftsman turns to look at the dice floating beside her. A second later, the dice lights up, showing 6. Bishop obviously would have higher than the knight, so I imagine that's not a max roll. Doesn't seem to indicate the steps Craftsman should take, rather her guiding path, and the dice simply vanishes. But that 3D map has been covered in meaningless numbers, showing the events of the 6 cells. Just like this, the bishop. I'm not meant to reach the goal per the rules. Strategically speaking, if you want to win, ensuring all your pieces reach the goal is less important than eliminating your opponent's pieces. Whoa, you know a lot about this game. Do I? I wouldn't know. That's just a random analysis. Is there a version of Luna in the Craftsman that doesn't have the network at all inside her? And so what it is she knows this game inside and out and knows exactly what to do with it. And so she's just riding it out because she wants to see how this conflict resolves. I think that's what they're hinting towards, because they've said multiple times, like behind the mask, it seems like that they're someone that the protagonist recognizes. At the end of the day, the king is the one who makes the call. You're really okay with getting sacrificed. You don't know what's happening to the piece if it gets taken out of the game. Let me ask you this. Why do you think no mental images have ever successfully challenged the king before? Because they weren't powerful enough? That's because, simply put, it's because of mental images are rooted in the principle of conflict and won't compromise for anything other than themselves. This game is ultimately a denial of that philosophy. The fundamental premise of sacrifice is allowing others to infringe upon the boundaries one sets for themselves. Huh. That's a unique line. That's almost saying, like, in order to let people get close to you, you have to let them break down your boundaries and share things that you don't want to share. Huh. The player can be godly smart, but doesn't change anything about the mental images. You don't want to be consumed by someone else's will. Even if they don't fear death, that is. In some ways, you are well suited for this game. Is that why the conflict kept on going on? Because there was no person telling them what to do? It felt like it was intrinsic to them, and so they were able to perpetuate their own love of war, or love of conflict, really, through that. Not love, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like the drive, the inner feeling of war. In some ways, you're well suited to this game. Like some other mental images, you seem to dislike conflict and prefer to compromise or outright avoidance. But if the path you've chosen to escape from the conflict leads you to an end you don't want to see, what would you do then? Would you give up everything or struggle with all your might? Rita gazes at the masked figure as though she's peering into something she shouldn't. Why are you telling me these? Sorry, did I sound a little too serious there? Never mind what I just said. Consider a little light-hearted chit-chat to liven up the mood. How could I not take it to heart? Fida looks again at the chessboard. She's now at the very back of all the pieces. As the king said, she is an extra that pops up out of nowhere, her piece being the most inconspicuous pawn. Resistance might as well be irrelevant to the outcome of the game, meaning that whatever happens on the board has nothing to do with her. Just as Fida tries to make herself feel better, these passive thoughts come as always. Her dice lights up. Her king hasn't excluded her. She still doesn't know what role she's supposed to play in this game. Honestly, like, if your pawn's all the way in the back, and you can only make one move per turn, I don't think I would ever move the pawn. So, he's a better man than I. The number on the dice seems to be telling her to move forward. Doesn't know what's going to happen if she doesn't do as instructed. Then she lets out a sigh, clenching her fist, and slightly starts to walk in the direction of the dice. And there you go. That is our halfway point. We're at 136, but I'm going to go ahead and... Oh wait, no, this is the other one. I'm going to go ahead... See, do I spoil the boss fight? No, okay. We're not going to spoil the boss fight. But there is a boss fight that we've yet to check out. That event is over. Actually, I can't access the boss fight anymore. Okay, so literally I can't show you guys the boss fight if I wanted to. In that case, I'm going to show you guys the joke they made here in the chessboard realms. This will just be how we end off the video, but I found this to be really funny. So I did all the easy ones. Let's go ahead and rock the first hard one, and I'll show you guys what the joke is. So, in chess, obviously, the most dangerous pieces are the bishop, the rook, and the queen, right? And so you need to try and be aware of wherever they are. We're currently facing down an actual army of chess pieces, but we can only move as a king does. So we can only move one in each direction. So I can only go one in this direction or one in this direction, and we're just kind of stuck. But we have three options for how to engage with our gun. And so it doesn't matter how good the knight does, because knight doesn't beat gun. And so the whole thing is we're now playing chess, but we have a gun, and we're basically playing it as if it's an RPG. With a energy bar on the bottom right, in which we can use 4 and 8, or we can melee by going directly up to them and attacking. But we're just going to go ahead and sit back here because they can't clearly attack this slot on the board. And we're just going to try and kill as many of the knights as we can. So 1 and... Actually, I can't change who I'm aiming at, can I? Nah, okay. Fire! So I am fully in danger now. What we're going to do is we're going to swap to the sword. So when we use the sword to kill one of the enemies, we get one free turn to be able to move again and slash again. And so we can kind of control the board using that and see what we want to do. I probably will just use this to farm up a couple more, but I think that these pawns moving is implying that they're going to go and get queened. So I think my ideal is actually to swap back to the other gun, go here, and then decimate these two pawns. Yeah, it'll kill both of them. Actually, does this kill both of them too? It does. Let's just do that. Don't waste energy if you don't have to. Are they queens now? They're knights now. Okay, so it's not as dangerous as I thought. But I'm safe on this spot. We can pop the 8. And... Do I just try and... None of these slots are really good ones. Oh, that actually does enough damage to both of them. I think that's the best slot for me to hit. Am I gonna be mated after the knight's move? No, I'm safe, I think. So I can kill the rook next turn no matter what. Okay, let's take down the bishop and do most of the rook's health. Yeah, you can see it's all just based on a little puzzle. How much damage does the sword do? Sword will kill the rook, so we're definitely gonna do that. Because now it frees up a lot of spaces for us. I can't swap back, though. So maybe instead... The queen's gonna be a big problem. I think I actually should just raw attack the bishop here. and get that done. We have a couple of free spots still. I'm going to swap to gun, pop this version of the shot, and see if I can hit both. No, I'm not going to be able to hit both of the guys there. That's unfortunate. In that case, do I just go for the one and then try and... That doesn't even kill the bishop, though. Maybe I go here instead. And then I do that so I can kill the knight and then also do a good amount of the rook's health. But yeah, this is basically play chess with a gun. And it's really funny to me that that is the whole joke. I can buff my sword attack. So now this will kill guaranteed. And if I do this, I'm just trying to get to the rook, but I can't actually do the damage I want to. I have to end my turn. Okay, this is dangerous. If I were honest, I think my best case is to do that, to get out of the queen's way, so she has to come to me. And then to... No, not that. Swap to gun. Hit one, and shoot both of these guys. So I'm currently in pretty big danger. We will... I think, do I just slash this guy to kill him and then try and get the knight too? Here, let's buff so I can move further. Slash the rook. And then kill the knight as well. And now it's just going to be us versus the queen. Because obviously, there's no danger in a king. I'm going to go here. Swap. Oh, because only sword can move that far, so I have to do that if I'm going to be shooting her. I'm probably just going to... No, I want to... Is there any way for me to hit both? I don't think so. How much damage does just this one do? This one does 2 damage. This one does 3 damage. And she has 10 total. Doesn't actually matter then. Okay, just shoot normally. I'm still safe, so I'm not going to move. I'm just going to body. The king moved closer. Do I guarantee lose? Unless I sword and then move away further? Yeah, I think so. Damn, I'm getting actually like close to mated. I gotta be much more careful around this. And I can't attack him right now. If I swap back to gun, I do have a safe spot now. Cool. And now I can actually do this. That was a really scary moment. I think I almost just lost the entire thing because I wasn't thinking about it. I think I move down here, hit one, and then aim at... Can I aim at directly the king? I want to aim here, on the king's spot, but I don't think I can. Well, I want the queen dead more than anything. Because now I'm completely safe to just shoot him over and over and over and over. Just like, bah, bah. Wait, I missed. I have to actually pay attention where I'm shooting. Okay. Bah. And obviously the best way to win inside chess is just to isolate the king in this... I need to stop not thinking about it and actually aim here. The best thing inside this chess game in particular, when you have a gun, is to isolate the king. Because there is no checkmate, is there a health bar? And just keep on hustling. Back up here. Yeah, this is the first hard mode. I do need to do the rest of the hard mode ones here, but honestly, it's something that I was kind of intimidated by because I knew that it would get harder and harder to the point where I would struggle. So I only did all of normal and then stopped. Before this event leaves, though, I plan on trying to get back to the rest of the ones here. Seems like there's 4 total? Can't tell. But that is its little bit that it ran. And there's another shop here you can grab stuff from. Yeah, this is a really cool collab. I'm gonna turn my camera back on. Genuinely, I am really impressed with what they are doing with this collab story. One of my favorite things about gacha games and one of my favorite things about games that are putting work into their stories is what they choose to use to adapt their story. And this is one of the best examples of a collab story I have ever seen inside any gacha game so far. And I am so impressed. so happy about it, and we will be back to go ahead and finish off the second half of the Black Rock Shooter collab story from 8 to 13. But I'm going to go watch Black Rock Shooter, the OVA, between this episode and the next one, so that I can tell you guys about a little bit more of what they're trying to implement and what I found cool about it. And obviously, if you haven't seen Black Rock Shooter, after you watch this episode today, please do yourself a favor and check out that famous 2013 incredible OVA. That is probably one of the coolest animated fighting OVAs from that time. Regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.